confidence in consumers is starting to fade as we enter 2025. It is Friday, January the 24th, and this is Megan Horneman, and you're listening to Markets with Megan. This morning, we got a data report on consumer confidence, and this was the final reading from the University of Michigan on confidence for the month of January. We actually saw the first drop in this reading in 6 months. We also got, when you look at the two different components in this, which is confidence on the current conditions and then confidence on future expectations, both of them declined. Confidence on the current situation fell to a 3-month low, and then it was really led by that expectation component of this index, which fell to a 6-month low. One of the other key pieces of data that come out of this report is the inflation expectation for consumers. And this is important because if the consumers think inflation is going to be higher in the future, they may feel compelled to spend now. And what that does is just exacerbate inflation at the current time. And what we're seeing, unfortunately, and the Fed will take notice of this, is that the one-year inflation expectation went from 2.8% in December to 3.3%, so a pretty big jump just on a month-over-month basis. In the 5 to 10 year, that also increased from 3% for the next 5 to 10 years to 3.2%. So consumers are still concerned about inflation. Some of the things that they noted was the concern about tariffs and what that may do to inflation, but this is not a good signal for the Federal Reserve. And the markets are slightly lower from an equity standpoint today. It's been kind of a up and down day, but this is more to do with some of the semiconductors that are selling off. There might be some just profit taking as well this week. It's been the best first week for the market of a presidential term since Ronald Reagan in 1985. So we're watching this closely. Next week, the big report will be the Fed meeting. We don't expect the Fed's going to make any changes next week. We think they'll stay on. They'll keep interest rates steady. They'll pause. They will probably make a note of the inflation situation and that the economy still remains relatively solid in that report. So we'll have much more next week to discuss. As I mentioned, it's not only the Federal Reserve that comes out, but we also have data on housing, new home sales, building permits, as well as home prices. And we'll get another reading from the Conference Board on consumer sentiment. That's all we have today. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, hit that alarm bell. And if you want further history of our podcast, you can go to marketswithmegan.fm. Thank you.